I sound weird because all of that dries out. Like my sinuses dry out, my ears dry out, my throat dries out. It's so frustrating trying to chase that problem, and I can't get it all ahead of it. And it's just like I'm literally playing catch up with all the things. And mustard. Come on, that's funny. GI problems. Again and again and again and again. Okay, so last video talks about I had to go to the emergency room again. So that was trip number 6 since the first of the year. And it's just the beginning of April now. And I really thought that I had things like moving along. We're doing so much extra stuff right now to keep it going. And then I woke up. Well, I sent a message to my GI about the awful ER trip and that I was there for 6 hours and I only got 1 bag of fluid, which literally by the time I left the ER, I'm sure I had peed out at least a liter of fluid. And so I was back to square one before I even got to my car. Like, that is so frustrating. And so I get the test results, and the test results pretty much show that I have a flip tube, but it was written a little bit strange, so I told my GI about that as well. And one of my test results came back, on my EKG that came back, and it said that it was borderline abnormal compared to another one that was like a month ago or 2 weeks ago. So I messaged my GI yesterday, told her what was going on, just trying to keep her up to date with all the things. Oh my gosh, I can't hear. And I've been having like the weirdest heartbeats lately. Super odd. And I'm still on that loop recorder, and it's so strange. Like, it has this like squeaky beat on the loop recorder. Super odd. So anyways, I've talked to cardiology about that on Friday. And then, so GI wise, I told her all the things, and I woke up this morning and I just felt kind of weird. Like, my abdomen felt weird. And I felt like my lower abdomen, like right below my belly button. And I had a brick of something sitting there again. Like, oh my gosh, I just can't imagine like how much we're already doing to try to keep it going. And the crazy dose of Linzess doesn't seem to be doing hardly any good anymore. So the nurse emailed me back today, said that she was going to send all the information to my GI and asked how I was feeling. And I told her about the brick in my abdomen and the fact that, you know, there's no extra hydration in my body. Like, I can't keep my eyes dry, the thrush is there, the whole thing. I sound weird because all of that dries out. Like, my sinuses dry out, my ears dry out, my throat dries out. It's so frustrating trying to chase that problem, and I can't get it all ahead of it. And it's just like I'm literally playing catch up with all the things. And mustard. Come on, that's funny. So the nurse emailed me back again. I don't remember what that one was about. And then my GI's physician's assistant emailed me back. And she is not confident in her advice to me. And if you are not confident in what you are telling me, I am going to completely discount it. I do not have the luxury of you learning at my expense. So I'd had several issues with her in the past that my medical conglomeration is just too complicated. And I totally get that. Like, that is not a knock against her, nothing. But if you don't know all of my stuff and you make suggestions that are counterintuitive to some of my things, it's it's not real good. It's just, I can't, yeah, I can't trust that at all. So then somebody else from my GI's office called and left me a message, which was weird. But then my actual like head GI called because I really wanted her to look at the x-ray from the ER and tell me if my tube is flipped, like it's all the way back in my stomach, because they said it was in the distal portion of my stomach. My stomach's not that big. The distal portion is the difference between like a half an inch. And I wanted to know if it was on this side or the other side of the valve at the end of my stomach, because if I'm at least still feeding into my duodenum, it's at least something. I mean, it's not my jejunum by any means, but it's not my stomach either. And it had been weird feeding for the last couple weeks, just kind of strange. And so she calls me and she said that she called radiology and actually made somebody pull my films while she looked at them and while they looked at them, so that they could try to figure out and actually get like a real specific placement of where stuff is. God, I can't hear. And I'm hearing myself like twice. It's super frustrating. So anyway, so they got, she got somebody on there, and the problem is, she told me that where the distal end of my tube is sitting is literally right in front of my spine. And so that's why they can't tell if it's still in my stomach, or if it's still in my intestines, or if it's back in my stomach. And she said, I can tell that most of your tube is in your stomach, which totally makes sense, because like I feel full all the time, and like if I drain my stomach, it's weird. And I've been draining I have been hooking up to my J, like with my extension tube, and like as soon as I put it in and like lock it into place, it starts draining stomach contents. But that doesn't specifically mean that it's in my stomach. So she's gonna set me up with interventional radiology so they can actually do a contrasted scan, and which is so much easier now because I don't have to drink the barium. Like, if it has to go in my stomach, I can push it through my G. If it has to go in my intestine, I can push it through my J. I don't have to drink the crap anymore, which is super amazing. So anyway, she's going to set up a scan so we can actually really see where it is and figure out what we need to do. So, two things. I'm having to completely bomb my GI tract to get everything out of it and get back to some kind of base level again. Playing catch up again and again and again. And so I have all the, so magnesium sulfate is what I use. It's like pre-colonoscopy prep, but just not as much liquid. And I can't do Go Lightly because it's too much fluid. So I just have to do like, I've been doing Senna every day or every other day at night, trying to get things to like move in the morning. My system is laughing at that. My system is laughing at the Miralax. Like, it doesn't do anything anymore. Linzess, I don't know what we're gonna do. So anyways, so I have all the, so I just have like one bottle of stuff like in my system. So my poor belly, it's all poochy and it hurts. It's so funny, like, seeing my skinny little hip bones and then my big old belly, because it has it's full all the way up. It just hurts. So depending upon how bad it is, it may move stuff along like before I go to bed tonight, or it'll wake me up in the middle of the night and I'll be up for hours and hours trying to get rid of everything. It is what it is. There's nothing else I can do, so hopefully it won't be too awful. I don't need to be a zombie at work. I was a zombie at work anyways today. Like, my brain function is literally like shot to crap right now. Like, I can't focus on anything. I'm literally like, I'll pick little tasks off of like 5 different things at work, and anyways, that's frustrating. The other thing that my GI said, because if my tube is totally flipped, this will be the second time. And I just got this tube. And so the idea of having to have it replaced. I don't know what we're gonna have to do. I'll talk to IR tomorrow about stuff. But she said another option is to put in a surgical J, which I had a feeling was coming, but it scares the crap out of me because of all the problems that I had getting my GJ. Another abdominal surgery. I can't imagine having to deal with that. I don't know. It's a lot to process and my brain isn't really good on processing, so hopefully everything will get moving out and it'll be better for me tomorrow, because I'm super miserable at the moment. It hurts to breathe because my abdomen is so distended. Heavens. I would sure love something to be easy at the moment. So I've got neuro-ophthalmology Wednesday. I've got 2 big tests and then a cardiology follow-up Friday, where I hope we can finally talk about a port and do something, because I can't play this roller coaster game anymore. It's sucking the life out of me. So, it was a Monday. I love you guys. I'll see you later. Bye.